This video on abuse and exploitation has been recorded for the BC Learning Network, www.bclearningnetwork.com. In this video, you will be learning about different types of abuse and the meaning of luring and exploitation. There will be examples that involve people being mean and maybe even abusive. Remember that most people are good and you do not need to live in fear, afraid of the world. The intent of this video is to give you an understanding of abuse. That way you can recognize it if you or a friend are ever faced with it. We should all live with caution and awareness, but not in fear. Most of the people you meet or already know are good people that would never wish to bring harm to you or anyone else. However, there's a small percentage of the population that do not always have good intentions. If you understand abuse, exploitation, and luring, you will be better able to protect yourself. First, you must understand some keywords. Think about what the words mean to you. Abuse. What kinds of abuse are there? Exploitation. What does it mean if someone is exploited? Lure. A fisherman tries to lure fish. What does lure mean when it comes to people? There are four main categories of abuse: physical abuse, psychological abuse, neglect, and sexual abuse. Any intentional use of physical force or action that causes or could cause injury, including hitting with a hand or object, punching, shaking, kicking, and pushing, could be physical abuse. It may be the result of actually trying to hurt someone, but not always. Sometimes when a child gets in trouble, an adult may use a belt on a child or give physical punishment that is inappropriate to the child's age or physical condition. Physical abuse is different than discipline. Physical abuse is done out of anger and to control behavior through fear. Here's an example of physical abuse. Matt fears his father coming home from work. He forgot to mow the lawn today after school and is worried that his father will become furious again, only to yell and hit him. Here's another example of physical abuse. Sue, a close friend, tells you that her mom hit her again. She wears long sleeves to hide bruises that she gets when her mom squeezes her arms and shakes her. She tells you not to tell anyone because she doesn't want to get into trouble. What is psychological abuse? Psychological abuse is also known as emotional or verbal abuse. Words can hurt. This kind of abuse involves a pattern of put-down behaviors or verbal attacks, including name-calling, put-downs, belittling, rejecting, or isolating behaviors. These make you feel badly about yourself. It's okay for people to be angry, but if there are personal verbal attacks, yelling about a person instead of about an issue, or personal rejection or isolation, this is not okay. Here's an example of psychological abuse. Christy's mother often makes mean comments towards her. She tells her she is stupid and that's why her grades are so bad. She tells her she's getting fat and won't be able to find a husband one day. Christy feels horrible about herself and is losing confidence and hope for her future. Neglect is another form of abuse. Neglect is a failure to provide for a child's basic needs. These needs include food, shelter, health and dental care, clothing, supervision, and communication. This also includes emotional and educational needs, as well as a safe environment. Here's an example of neglect. Anya tells you that she got in trouble after school and got sent to her room until the next morning. Anya had nothing to eat from lunch until breakfast, no snack and no dinner. Nobody came to talk to her. This is an example of neglect. Here's another example of neglect. Marco's mother is often away and sometimes there's no food in the fridge. He has to figure out how he and his two younger sisters will eat. They are often unsupervised and hungry. They feel unsafe and unloved. What is sexual abuse? Parts of the body covered by a bathing suit are private parts. They are not okay for others to touch and no one should tell you to touch theirs. Sexual abuse can also involve uncomfortable affection or exposing a child to sexual conversations, situations, or materials, whether or not touching is involved. Ask someone that makes you feel uncomfortable to stop. The abuser may tell the kid that it's a secret, but it's not a secret that a kid should keep. Remember, abuse is never a child's fault. A child should never feel too ashamed or scared to get help. Kids have a legal right to stop anyone who tries to abuse them. Trusted adults and the police can put a stop to abuse once it's been reported. Luring. A person who is fishing tries to lure fish by using bait. What does luring mean when it comes to people? Luring is when a person with bad intentions uses the internet to convince someone to meet them or to send them inappropriate pictures. This is a crime in Canada. There are signs that may show a person's trying to lure someone online. A person may offer gifts or give lots of compliments to make you feel special, important, or cared for. A person may offer help with homework or problems. A person may ask for your help. A person may try to boss you around. A person may pretend to be your friend to get more information out of you. Exploitation of children. Exploitation is the act of using someone unfairly in order to gain an advantage in something or to make money. Economic exploitation is the use of a child in work or other activities for someone else's profit. This is not the same as doing some chores around your house or having some responsibilities that help you contribute to a healthy family and to develop life skills. This is child labor, where someone profits from inappropriate work done by a child. Children should not be used for child labor or for illegal activities. Children are meant to learn, not to earn. In some countries, the exploitation of children is really bad. Children have to work long hours in factories in poor conditions instead of going to school. Sexual exploitation is when someone in authority, power, or trust makes money from a child by allowing and usually forcing a child to be sexually abused. Don't let yourself be exploited. Don't perform work for someone else's profit that's under unfair or poor conditions. Don't let someone make you take part in sexual or gang activity. Don't be gullible online. In this video, you learned about types of abuse and the meaning of luring and exploitation. This is very serious information. Your awareness of these issues can help you to avoid them, to understand you should seek help if you're experiencing them, and to help others if you ever become aware of someone in a situation like this. Thankfully, most people are good and you do not need to live in fear or afraid of the world. Your next step is to learn about resources that can help and support people in abusive or exploitative situations. Then you may be able to help someone who really needs it, or if you ever have the need of support, you will know where to turn. This is Abuse and Exploitation for the BC Learning Network. www.bclearningnetwork.com